What is up, anime enjoyers? This is week 8 of Winter Anime. Gonna talk about more shows ongoing coming through. Main one's gonna be like Blue Lock, My Hero Academia, Vinland Saga, Inspector, Nagatoro-san Season 2, NieR Automata. I like Handyman, Saitou as the isekai. I also like the isekai with the 2 lesbian girls. Tokyo Revengers is also very dumb, but I'm gonna talk about it because, there's a lot to talk about for that show. But yeah, besides that, keeping up with this season, it's been like pretty boring so far, not gonna lie, but I'm still down to follow most of these shows. Some of them are actually like very interesting. So yeah, let's get started. Okay, so for Vinland Saga Season 2, Episode 8, another solid episode. The farming saga continues. We're planting seeds, farming wheat, and everyone's kind of learning and growing as people. A lot of like cool character development from Thorfinn especially. So yeah, it feels pretty good. But in the back of my mind, every episode you get anxious, like, okay, when's the action gonna start? Well, bro, it's starting at the end of this episode, which is so tense. Like, I kind of feel bad because Thorfinn's kind of changing as a person. Kind of has like a different type of meaning in life. But yeah, right now maybe he's going back to violence. But yeah, the episode starts off with him getting another PTSD dream. So he wakes up all the time. He kind of sees himself as a murderer, and then he just wakes up screaming. He also yells Askeladd's name. So yeah, bro, it's kind of tough to watch. Like, I feel for him. Like, I hope he gets better. But he's been traumatized at a young age, so it's understandable. But after that, there's a lot of dialogue between Thorfinn and Einar. Kind of talk about Thorfinn's past. So he kind of talks about Askeladd. He's like a dude I wanted to get revenge on, but when I wanted to kill him, someone else killed him in front of me. So yeah, after that happened, Thorfinn really had like no motivation, no goal. So his life after that's kind of a blur, but we know he became a slave. So yeah, right now he's empty, he feels like, so he has nothing to do. But once he met Einar, and now he's like kind of, has a purpose, like cutting down these trees, farming. It's like a good life for him. He's also making friends, so just like, peaceful Thorfinn. The problem is, once they kind of finish the day's work, go back to the farm, bro, all their crops are dug up. Like, not even one or two, bro. The whole field is gone. So, like, Thorfinn, he's kind of like, okay, chill, Einar, it's not that serious. But then Einar got so mad because you do not disrespect farming in front of him. Bro, you did it. So he wants to murder the retainers that kind of like bullied the slaves because, first of all, they uprooted the crops for no gain. They're just like bullies. Second of all, they're kind of like losing money because they had to like borrow the seeds and all the tools. So if nothing grows, they're like further in the red. Thorfinn's trying to stop him, and he does succeed, so he kind of calms him down. So it's like funny seeing Thorfinn being the voice of reason. Yeah, they asked one of the other heads on the farm, and he's like, yeah, we're gonna do an investigation. So that's fine. We just gotta be patient. No violence, no fighting. Let's just wait for the investigation. Surely it'll go on our favor. But no, as they're kind of like crossing the farm, they come across the retainers, and it's a showdown right here. They're fighting. So Einar was about to throw the first punch, but then Thorfinn kind of interferes because Thorfinn sees how mad Einar is getting. Everyone's goading them on, so Thorfinn throws the first punch. This dude, he was so pacifistic this past few episodes, but now, it's all over. So yeah, he breaks one of the dude's jaws, and all the other farmers are kind of attacking them. So yeah, it feels pretty bad. We get a cliffhanger there as the episode ends. We see Thorfinn kind of like he's going back in his head, kind of like drifting, falling off a cliff. He's gonna be awakened Thorfinn. Maybe he kills all these guys in a bloody rage. We'll see, but holy shit, I've been expecting this type of cliffhanger soon where there's gonna be like a violent act. Yeah, they're finally giving it to us episode 8. So yeah, next episode's gonna be exciting. Wonder if there's gonna be like a plot twist to swerve, if something's gonna like happen to save Thorfinn. But they are slaves, so they don't get the benefit of the doubt at this point. So yeah, it's probably going to be a hard life going forward. Okay, so for NieR Automata version 1.1a, episode 5. Yeah, this anime's back. There was a slight hiatus, so a couple episodes were delayed. But yeah, we're finally here, so we're at episode 5 instead of like episode 8, for example. But yeah, right now, the story's like pretty solid so far. It's like kind of slow paced, showing off a lot of sides, like how they're kind of growing. So like the main theme is humanity. Why do we have to fight all the time? We're kind of like the same. All these androids, robots, and all the other hybrids in between. So it's honestly like pretty compelling. I have to say though, yeah, playing the game is definitely like a better experience, but yeah, this anime so far is like, not too bad at all. The voice acting is very solid. The music, hearing it again, is like so nice. And then yeah, seeing 2B and 9S, it's basically like wholesome adventures with them, trying to like, cope with all these robots and resistance groups. So yeah, right now we meet a robot called Pascal. Kind of like a friendly robot, and there's like a community of robots that he's creating. So 2B and 9S go to their community to kind of like trade with them. So the resistance force are teaming up with these robots. They're kind of trading gas for other supplies. So it's pretty good because we see robots, they do have like the capability to like learn. So as they're just like, fighting all the time, some of them are actually like investing time into reading. Now they can pick up like human language and communicate. So yeah, that's like kind of interesting on the robot side. On the android side, we see 2B and 9S, there's still something between them. It's like very cute, but 2B seems to be struggling with like her inner self. She doesn't really want to get close to 9S. It seems like, you know, they die in the missions and then 9S kind of forgets. But yeah, they're still like going closer. 9S kind of hacking people. We see him getting like glimpses of like the past when he's hacking. So yeah, that's like kind of interesting. It's like a reference to like older NieR games. We also see Emil, like there's like a tree with his face embedded into it. So yeah, a lot of like references. Overall though, you know, the anime's like setting up the story. Right now we see the antagonist coming through is Adam and Eve, who are like these two white-haired robots. And I guess they want to be humans. So it's a bit creepy seeing both of them. There's like some kind of incesty vibe between them. But yeah, besides that, you know, the anime's going at its own pace, pretty solid so far. And I'm definitely going to keep watching. The story's unfolding in its own way. Like it's following the game very closely, but there's some slight variations. Okay, so for My Hero Academia season 6 episode 21, I'm really enjoying the shonen. You know, like season 6 is honestly pretty good, a lot of action. I don't really like the story as a whole, but you know, like Deku's kind of evolving. He's using like 50 quirks at once right now, and he's getting hunted by this like sniper hero, Lady Nagant, I think her name is. She has like purple hair, bro, new waifu out here. So yeah, like we can fix her. So right now she's actually trying to like, you know, capture Deku because All For One wants like, you know, him captured to take his quirk. The thing is, you know, Deku, he's like putting out smoke screens and stuff, but Lady Nagan, she can just like snipe him from like any angle. She can also like fly through the air because All For One gave her like this levitating power. So yeah, right now Deku's trying to subdue her. He like kind of uses a mix of a bunch of quirks. He uses like the one with kinetic energy to store power in his feet. He combines that for one for all. It is like so much anime bullshit, but he's like, I'm gonna stack all these powers on top of each other. And then we see Nagan, she kind of shoots Overhaul, who's like a hostage somewhere else. So then she knows that Deku's gonna try to rescue him. So yeah, Deku kind of like goes faster than her bullet. Nagant, we kind of see her backstory on how like, you know, she's been murdering everyone. Even as a hero, she's been working behind the scenes to kind of kill like evil heroes or people that are like breaking the law that like they don't want the public to know about. So yeah, the fact that Nagan, she wanted to be a hero, but she's like kind of like a murderer for the government, kind of like traumatizing for her. That's why she went to jail, because she killed her like superior officers. So yeah, that's like a lot of heavy backstory for her, but it's kind of like a redemption. So yeah, Deku goes faster than her bullet. Deku saves Overhaul. Deku also captures her and grabs her hand, and then that reminds Lady Nagant of like, you know, shaking hands of little children. So yeah, this is like a good character moment for Deku. We see him like inspiring people. So that's something All Might also does. So yeah, Deku's like kind of growing. It's still a bit cheesy, but yeah, he rescues Lady Nagant. He kind of like tries to convert her to his side. So yo, new waifu joins the team. Well, I think not, because All For One has a contingency plan. So the quirk he gave her that made her levitate also has like a failsafe where it kind of like self-destructs. So Lady Nagant kind of explodes. That's kind of brutal. I didn't really expect that in this anime, but she still seems to be alive, just like badly burnt. So yeah, she's like kind of talking. She tells Deku and everyone about the coordinates of where All For One is. So, you know, we're getting closer to our goal. And yeah, all the other heroes come in while Deku was fighting her one-on-one. Endeavor and Hawks come in to save everyone. So yeah, you know, solid episode. One thing that I thought was really funny was that in the beginning of this episode, we see All Might, he got ambushed by these two villains. But then All Might, Giga Chad, he just like, even in a skinny form, he's like, bro, you can't stop me. I got somewhere to go. So he just intimidates people with his clout. So this is something I really love. Like All Might's one of my like all-time favorite characters like in any anime, and the fact that he's like intimidating people even without his quirk is just like making me fanboy so much. So yeah, really love that scene in the beginning of this episode. Besides that, you know, the anime continues. Okay, so for Blue Lock episode 20, we're starting off with another match. This is the revenge match. It's between Isagi. He's fighting against Bachira's team. So yeah, they took our boy Meguru away, and I was kind of fighting against them. So yeah, the leader of this team is Rin. He's kind of on another level. He's basically Isagi, but like very enhanced, where he like can kind of control the field. He can like predict moves happening before they happen. And yeah, basically he's unstoppable. He can set people up. He can like make his own fast-paced decisions. We see him faking shots a lot, so he does like 1, 2, 3 shot fakes at one time. Kind of like breaks people's ankles, and then like he makes the goal himself. So yeah, he's like very unstoppable right now. But the thing is, you know, Isagi's team, they're not like backing down. They're all trying to go for the ball, set people up. And yeah, they have Chigiri now, so yeah, he's really fast, so his weapon's like really handy. And yeah, they make a goal. They make the first goal actually, but then Rin's team come back. They make 2 goals in a row. So it's kind of interesting to watch like where things will go from here. You know, Blue Lock at this point is a bit predictable. We like keep seeing things like going back and forth, but we can assume who's gonna win. Here though, it's like very intense. Like I love the music, love the setups. I love people just like evolving their skills. So Inagi does like a cool shot fake as well. He makes a goal. He kind of like gets the better of Rin. So right now in this match, it's like pretty even, but we see that Rin's trying to evolve himself as well. So everyone got the colorful eyes. That's like the monster you have have inside of you in Blue Lock. And then once you see the eye color moving, that's when people are gonna evolve their skills. That shit's popping off as always. You notice the anime's like keeping it very consistent. You always know what to expect. It's just like a lot of action and matches, so you know it's very hype. Alright, so for Tokyo Revengers Season 2 Episode 8, bro, this anime is so dumb. This fight keeps going on in this church. It's Christmas Day. It's the Christmas Showdown. It's a Tokyo Manji gang versus the Black Dragon. But it's basically like 5v1. It's like Hakai versus Taiju. The thing is, you know, Taiju's like big-ass giant Giga Chad. No one can really stop him. And Hakai's a bitch, so he's not even fighting. It's Takemichi, actually. So this is really funny because, you know, it's another moment where Takemichi gets beaten up again. This time it's like a bit more inspiring, I guess, because Takemichi gets up and he's just like taking punches from Taiju. It's kind of crazy. So Takemichi probably got like Wolverine level healing because he's just like tanking these shots and he doesn't stay down. So he's like to Taiju, I'm gonna beat you. And then he actually punches Taiju in the face. And then Taiju actually staggers. So Takemichi's punch actually affected him a bit. Not really, but we see that he has a stab wound in his back. So he's probably kind of feigning a blood loss. So yeah, that's like our win condition. Against Taiju, just like wait him out. But the thing is, bro, this dude is jacked. He's on adrenaline. He's like punching everybody, so no one can really stop him. Also, he kind of reveals some juicy information that I didn't really like. But basically, it's their like family drama. So we see that Hakai's sister Yuzuha, so she was the one actually getting beaten up. So Hakai was a bitch. He didn't really do anything to protect the family. It was all Yuzuha. So she was like, can you beat me up? I'll take Hakai's beatings as well. One thing I had a problem with is why is this domestic abuser like beating people up for no reason? Like, it's kind of cringe. Also, we see some backstory of Yuzuha where like her mother was like very sick, and when she died, Yuzuha decided to like protect the family, but she was getting beaten up every day. So yeah, we thought Hakai was going through all this struggle, but it was actually Yuzuha who was like the actual like hero. And we see in the other timeline, Hakai was actually the one that stabbed and killed the older brother Taiju. So yeah, a lot of stuff to unpack, but basically, you know, nothing matters right now. And these fights are so lame because people are just like getting beaten up and coming back up. But yeah, their goal right now is to kind of like subdue Taiju, not kill him. And Hakai actually like kind of breaks out of his shell. He takes a jacket off. Bro, he's about to fight right now. It's kind of fun to see him fight because he's 100% refreshed. Everyone else is kind of beaten up, but he's like, you know, ready to go. The thing is, yo, the Manji gang coming through. So Mikey, the leader, he comes into the church. I don't really care. Like, you know, when Mikey comes in, you know, shit kind of pops off. Like, this is real shit because everyone's kind of like, he's really tough and everyone's like kind of intimidated by him. But overall, you know, the anime is like very stale. His stories is like so repetitive. Like, it had so much promise in the beginning of like some time travel, unique shonen plot. But right now, nothing new or interesting is happening. All right, so for Inspector Season 2 Episode 8, another solid episode. We get a new arc, just like a lot of storytelling. So this one's about this old man. He's kind of like a CEO of this hotel group, and he asked Kotoko like to help him on like this case. So the case is that he murdered his wife. And the thing is, he didn't murder her herself. So she died like 20 years ago, and he hired a spirit. So it's called Kyokou, a spiritual fox. And yeah, that fox murdered his wife. And in return, the fox wanted him to develop some land because he's like this hotel tycoon. And that land is like kind of like a territory struggle. So it's like, if you open land here, then all my enemies will have nowhere to live. It's kind of like a beneficial thing for them mutually. Why did he do this? Why do you want to murder his wife? This like kind of nice hotel dude. Well, his wife was kind of like a reasonable, like good leader. Like, she was making the hotel company grow. She was the CEO. But then as she was getting older, trying to grow the business like at an absurd level, she kind of had unrealistic expectations on everyone. So even her own children, she wanted to force them to work in their own way. And she just like micromanaged everyone. So like the older child, he wanted to be a chef. He wanted to cook, but then she's like, no, you're going to be the leader of the business. The second child actually wanted to be like the leader of the hotel group. And she's like, no, not you. And then the youngest daughter, she had like this boyfriend that the mom didn't like. So yeah, the family's kind of drifting apart. So he's like, okay, I could save this business if she just died. And everything kind of worked out. So yeah, what's the problem? Why is he like kind of confessing his sins to Kotoko? Well, the problem is he kind of like thinks this is wrong, of course. So he wants some like comeuppance, and he doesn't want this kind of pattern to continue where, okay, I can murder someone guilt-free, I can get super successful, get money, and like there's no punishment. So he thinks this is a bad lesson for his kids to grow up on, even though they don't know like what happens. So his test right now is to like test each 3 of the children and to have them like tell them a story on how the mom died. And the one with like the best story will like, you know, get favor from the inheritance or whatever. And then he has Kotoko to kind of judge their stories. You know, it's nothing too serious, I guess, at this point. And yeah, everything else in the episode is proceeding smoothly. We see like kind of cute moments with her and Kuro. But yeah, after that, the episode ends there before we hear any of their stories. So they have like a couple days to share their story. I guess next week we're gonna hear all 3 of their stories, see what type of ideas they'll give us. But yeah, I mean, this is a cool concept for an arc, so yeah, I'm kind of excited to see where it'll go. And yeah, I'll quickly talk about some other shows. So yeah, another one is Handyman Saitou in Another World. So yeah, the Handyman Isekai. Bro, this dude Saitou, this anime is so nice. Like the storytelling is nice. The romance is so good. Like just like this big romance plot line between the night girl and Saitou, and how Saitou has the ability to go back to his world, his original world. Then the night, her name is Ralso. She kind of like confesses her love or like her need for Saitou, so she doesn't want him to leave. So yeah, I thought that was like so cute and romantic. And she's like tough and strong, and she's written in a way where she's not like dependent on the male character. You know, she has feelings for him, of course. She's also strong enough and independent enough to do her own thing. So yeah, the character writing doesn't feel flat. Like each character has like a lot of motivations going on for them. But yeah, after the end of this episode in particular, you know, just another cliffhanger. So yeah, a lot of like interesting cliffhangers makes me want to learn more. You know, probably not too serious, but yeah, a lot of big things happen in this isekai. So yeah, highly recommend this anime. Also, another anime I recommend, Trigun Stampede. Bro, there's 8 episodes so far. It's very exciting, honestly. I was shit talking in episode 1 because I didn't like the CGI and like the different type of story. But yeah, I caught up in episode 4. It was so good, and now I'm like up to date on episode 8. So it just like feels like very charming and funny. Like they kind of modernized the Trigun story a bit, so it feels a bit more recent. And the CGI is so well done, actually. So you get used to it very quickly. And like the action scenes are so nice. There's like big robots, monsters. It's also cool. So yeah, that's another anime to check out this season if you haven't already. And yeah, I guess that's it for this week of winter anime. Week 8 already, you know, a couple weeks left, maybe 4 until we get the finale. So yeah, kind of excited to kind of end off these episodes. A lot of these shows are picking up, so yeah, hopefully we can get much higher. And yeah, thank you for watching. Please let me know what your favorite anime this week was.